Hello, welcome. This is part 2 of the video game Tzar application I'm turning into. I do believe I'm more fit for this than, well, most anybody else. I mean, goddamn, I've played so many goddamn games in the past. Like, I need help. And we need this specifically to get video games first, but particularly American entertainment back to what it used to be. This is part 2. This is February 16th, 2025. Let's get into it. Cue intro music. Do 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 do. Alright. So another point I have on this is loot boxes and microtransactions. Because ever since the Skyrim horse armor that everyone universally mocked, but the fact of the matter is people still fucking bought it. And because people still fucking bought it, microtransactions has just been sort of a cornerstone and just most all other games, even single player games, and the egregious points were in like Shadows of War, that game, and what was it, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Again, microtransactions in single player fucking games, right? And loot boxes has always been odd because you have that sort of like gambling mechanics and gotcha games, but for some reason, I'll get into it, but well, I'll talk about it now. I don't consider the gotcha mechanic to be as egregious as gambling because gambling is more of a money spiral, right? And if you piss on it, like piss on the spiral in the toilet, eventually some of it will splash back up to you. Whereas gotcha is like a money hole. Like when I spent money on girls' front line. I've committed a crime, but there's no way I can ever get that money back. Like there's no mechanic I can pull in the game to ever get any money back. Like you can't chase losses with gotcha, but you can absolutely chase losses with gambling. So I personally think these things are different now. I think they're both predatory. I think they both should be as far away from kids as humanly possible. Unless you're an adult, then it's like whatever. But I mean, what to do? So, loot boxes and gambling mechanics should be stated on the product before purchase. Yes, it should be stated on the box that there are loot boxes, gambling mechanics before the purchase, or literally thing number one that pops up. You know, just to inform people, just to make them understand what they're getting into. I think this is something that's everybody agrees with. Loot boxes in video games should not contain any item or accessory that cannot be obtained in game through playing it. And they do this with skins most of the time. Like Warframe is kind of bad with this, but there's a lot of good skins you can just get with plat. But there are some particular skins you can't get unless you pay money. And I understand the idea. It's because they want to compensate the creators. I'm just saying this has become such a big problem that, yeah, I guess if they want to buy the skin, it's fine, but you should be able to obtain the skin or the accessory or whatever in game. Like anything you see on that marketplace should be obtainable in game for some reason. Like, again, I don't care if they give you, like, I don't know, a daily reward that requires it, that has it, or like a season pass reward that gives it to you for free, and then they put it on the store, like whatever. As long as everyone has access to the thing, it doesn't really matter to me. Possible items and probabilities in loot boxes should be, okay, it cuts off, should be stated on the thing. Yeah, so they should tell you your probability, what you can possibly get in the loot boxes. It shouldn't be something that's up to the air and you don't know what you'll get. And the probability should be there just in case you have poo poo doo doo luck and you realize, oh hey, why am I not getting this? Like I should get it in this probability, but I don't. And it's a 70% grab. So what the fuck, man? Microtransaction skins should readily be available in-game and may not be added retroactively upon release in-game and not in-store and not in-game. Yeah, so don't do the bullshit where you add it as like a pre-order bonus. Then, oh, technically you can get it if you pre-ordered it. Then don't have it in-game. It's like, no, they should be able to buy any accessory, any skin, anything in game. Like it should be in game, not something added if you have a certain criteria. Like, oh, let's not pull that bullshit. A pity system should be placed for those with poo poo doo doo RNG. So, a pity system. Well, it's hard to explain this because I can only give examples. Like, in the first Descendant, if you're tracking an item, and if you do it, like, you have this item tracker, and every time you do the mission to try getting the item, but you don't get the item, it gives you a 15% chance. That's just added in this bar. And if it fills up to 100% and you still don't have the item because your RNG is goofy, it just gives you the item. Like, that's the pity system in the first Descendant. What other pity systems? In Nikkei Goddess of Victory, every time you go for pulls, it gives you a certain amount of currency that can just be used. If you get enough of that currency, you can just use that currency to just outright buy the character. I think it's like every like 200 pulls, so you pull 10, you get 10 pulls per certain amount of currency. And if you pull quite a bit and you still don't get it, you can just use that currency to outright get the character. What other examples? I think in Girls Front Line there's a pity system where every 50 pulls you're guaranteed a super secret rare waifu. Yeah, something like that, where because you're fighting RNG, you're not really playing the game, and that's not fun. Like, grinding in Warframe is okay, and it's a wonderful social experience, but eventually you're gonna want to move the fuck on, and if your RNG is so poo poo doo doo, you'll be like, well, this just starts to not be fun anymore. Like, you need to give everyone at least increase the chance. Oh yeah, in Warframe the pity system is reactant. So you have these the relics, and there's like 3 tiers of probability. So you have the common, uncommon, and rare. And you can put reactant into that relic to increase the rare and decrease the uncommon. That's kind of the pity system for Warframe. Yeah, some system like this, which allows people to, move the fuck on, like they try to grind the thing, and maybe they get it through the game, through the normal method, whatever. But if they don't, the pity system's just there, so they're not wasting their time, and eventually losing interest. So, failure to adhere to these rules will result in the removal of a product or a fine up to $400 million. Again, the thing with gambling is you can't stop. It's something that anybody can do in the back alley. And that's why sports betting is so popular. It's like it's literally legalized, and people are like, oh well, you should get rid of it. It's like that's never going to happen. You shouldn't use your ID online either to make sure that you're 18 or above. Like it's just one of those things that you can kind of crack down on, but you lose something if you try. And hey, let's go into changes of story and characters in game. Because, well, I don't want to end this too soon. Body type A and B should be removed from games. To circumvent this, you should instead put identity, and within the identity, add either male, female, or a text box for any other identity. Again, this is something that's just been added by people who don't really care. Like they want to impose something on the developers and on the studios that makes no fucking sense. It's like, why is body type B having their chest covered? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Because the ESRB absolutely knows what a male female is, and in case you don't understand, the ESRB will slap you with a fine so fucking hard. It's like it will download that information straight to your brain. And it's something that people just universally sees. And if you see it, you know where. Like if you see pronouns, and if you see body type A and B, and if you see these ugly characters, you know what the devs are trying to impose on you. And we can play make-believe and be like, oh, why do you care? It's like, well, I care because they care to add it in. And it takes time and effort to add these things in that nobody fucking cares about. So I care because they care. I mean, it's really that simple. Any race swap, gender swap, and changes from original characters and source material will receive a $50 million fine per violation. Again, and I don't care. Like, for example, that Cleopatra movie for Netflix, and we're talking video games, but I'm using a movie or TV show example. Like that Cleopatra show from Netflix where they make her black, $50 million fine. Like if you want to disrespect other nations' cultures, you should pay a fine for it. You need to literally pay for the right to do it. Like we won't stop you unless you don't pay. And then if you don't pay, well, then you get in trouble. But if you want to do it, okay, $50 million, $100 million, and you can pay for the right to disrespect all you want. It's really just that simple. And the fact of the matter is people know why these things are being done. They're being done for ideological reasons. It's not original. It's a thing that if anybody sees, they will call bullshit. If you're trying to, actively play Spot the Racist, that's fine, but you'll have to pay for it, right? We're here to play Make a Good Fucking Product game. We're not playing the Spot the Racist game. And I don't care if it's black to white race swap or white to black, Asian to Azerbaijani. I don't care. If it happens and if it goes against the source material, you're getting fined, hun. And I believe that's just about it. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm still waiting that call from the Trump administration or Elon Musk or what other wealthy white dude, J.D. Vance, to hit me up. I think we can get this started so we can profligate American culture throughout the world the way it used to be, back in the early 2000s, the 1990s. And yeah, I mean, that's all I really got to say about this. Peace.